It is rare. I'm waiting for about 17 people. As teachers to spread out, and teachers are welcome. So I want everyone to be here. This is an important, meaningful moment for me and for all of us. But as we usually offer, this is a serious offer. First of all, we're going to be going into lunch, but we're going to be making sure that you have your time. So this is all on our time, simcha that we're celebrating together. If you don't want to be here, then your option is to respectfully, quietly walk out, find a teacher, they'll give you something to do, and it's cool with me. It's totally fine. But if you're here to be part of a simcha, to be focused. You didn't hear the announcement before. If you're holding those candies, they're not being touched. That's a challenge. I get it. I totally get it. I've been there. But you're just holding them now until the end. So when you eat them, you're eating them with a purpose. It's to be part of the simcha, which is a great thing. That's what we do. So it's not about us. It's about being part of something. Okay, we didn't say tachta this morning in 8th grade. Came to 8th grade davening. I looked at Rabbi Seth. And I asked him a halachic question, because he's the guy that just learned HaShas, so he probably knows it. And I said, wait a second. We probably shouldn't be saying tachton today. Because when you have a Yom Tov, now normally a Yom Tov is on the calendar. Normally a Yom Tov is actually something that we don't get much credit for. It just happens. But sometimes you have a Yom Tov that's personal. So if you go to a bris, where you are, they don't say tachton that day. Because for those people, not just the parents, but for everybody in that shul, it's a Yom Tov in this shul. So I realized this morning, there was no bris involved, that it was a Yom Tov in this building. I spoke to Ms. Osternigan and Mrs. Steinberg a couple weeks ago as the Siyum HaShas was approaching. I wasn't really focused on it, but I'm going to tell you why I became focused on it a little bit. And I said, we got to do something here, especially if we have a teacher of ours that's accomplished something big. And I asked for this Yom Tov to take place in this school right now with all of you. Because this is not a private simcha. This is a simcha for all of us to celebrate a person, to celebrate learning Torah. That's why we're here. On January 1st, I was on vacation, but I was in New York. And I wasn't really focused, but a friend of mine called me up and offered me a ticket to MetLife Stadium, which I usually take. This was a different trip to MetLife Stadium. The Jets didn't lose. It was a different trip to MetLife Stadium because I experienced something I've really never experienced before. I've been learning Gemara for a long time, been teaching Gemara for a long time. To sit in traffic and to get into a stadium with 92,000 people and to daven mincha and to listen to speeches, to talk to people and to celebrate and to talk to some of the people that were working there. Like, what do you think of this? This is a different event, and I was talking to people who said, not Jewish people, people that were there working in MetLife Stadium, like, wow, this is real, this feels really holy. And it did. And I know that some of you were there, probably not many, and I know others of you heard about it. But after 7.5 years studying a daf a day, 92,000 people there, 10,000 more, whatever filled up Barclays Center. Other places around the country and around the world, my mother and my sisters attended one in Yerushalayim, Binyanei HaUmah, this Sunday with 3,000 women celebrating a Siyum HaShas for women. Jews getting together by the tens of thousands to celebrate learning Torah. That's reason to pause and reason to stop and reason to understand that this is meaningful. Here you go. Thank you. Sorry. This is the small group. This is Binyanei HaUmah in Yerushalayim. This is Michelle Farber. I'll tell you who she is. She taught Daf Yomi in her house in Ra'anana. There's an article in the New York Times. You can read about her husband, Seth Farber, is an SAR graduate. He started an organization in Israel to help Israelis through the your process or whatever. She taught Daf Yomi every day for the last 7.5 years. You can get those shiurim, I think, on YouTube. You can get them somewhere. They're accessible. You can get an app. You can download an app that will give you a choice of different shiurim to learn from. Now, a daf is a lot. I'm talking too much already. A daf is a lot. It's a big, big accomplishment. Some of you, raise your hand if you've been part of this. Daf Yomi LaYeladim. Daf Yomi LaYeladim. Where's Yonah Glazer? Okay, he represented, yes, that's a call kavod. There he is. He didn't learn all of HaShas yet, but he represented SAR in Yerushalayim, studying with other kids, a taste of Daf Yomi. And as you'll hear, anybody who learns Daf Yomi is getting a taste of Daf Yomi, because Daf Yomi is actually too much to learn in a day. So it's a taste of Torah, and it's a commitment, it's a serious commitment. It allows you to connect with other people. And you guys are lucky enough to learn Torah, learn Gemara starting in the 6th grade. So this is maybe something aspirational. You see this. Again, maybe you saw it. This is an unbelievable thing. It was an unbelievable thing. Right? People paid to be here, and they sold it out. And it was really, really beautiful and powerful. You can show it, There was, you're not going to show all of it, but there was music, there was...
Baruchim Aboyim, B'Shem Hashem. Welcome all to the 13th Global Siyum HaShas Daf Yomi.
And then to say Keim Chayenu is our life. That's what we live. We live for Torah.
The Torah is our joy and our ultimate protection. And this is why we're all here today.
An integral component of the anti-Jewish philosophy of the Nazis was its hatred for the Talmud. The title that they gave from Jews was Talmud Lehrers and Talmudische Juden. They proclaimed the learners and the teachers of the Talmud have the power to rebuild Judaism in America. And guess what? They were 100% correct. And you are those Talmud learners and those Talmudische Juden.
You got it. I want to move on for a second. And before we introduce Rav Seth to do his actual Siyum, to read the last few lines of the Gemara, and to read the Hadron, which is the tefillah that we say to celebrate together, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. Some of you know him. Scott White is a friend and neighbor. He's a good friend for many, many years. Pretty much since I moved to Riverdale, Yonkers. Who inspired me and continues to inspire me by his commitment to Torah, who started taking this up 7.5 years ago and finished it last week. And we were able to celebrate and learn from him a little bit on Shabbat in our shul. And I asked him to kind of give some context to what this means to him and to us for a couple of minutes. Please give him your attention. You can use the mic if you want. You don't have to.
Okay, welcome. Okay, first of all, special call and congratulations. It's amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment for all Klal Yisrael. Do I need to scream? Can you hear me?
No. Yes.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to put this in a little bit of context of what it means to learn this, right? It's not just doing the mitzvahs. It's understanding what this is that we do and why we do it. So I'm going to talk to you about something a little deeper than maybe you might be ready for, but I think you are. And I'm going to talk to you about consciousness. First, I'm going to tell you a story. A long time ago, there was a yeshiva in Europe. This was over 100 and some years ago. And an old man told me this story. There was a yeshiva and there was a young person who was your age who fell ill. And they were very, very sick. And they went to the hospital. And at the time, hospitals weren't like they are today. They didn't have all the greatest medicines in the world. The young students, this young person's friends, just like you, went to the hospital and said, "What can we do to help?" You know what the hospital said? "This child needs milk. Milk. They need the fat in milk. Without milk, we don't know what's going to be with this child." The entire yeshiva went out to the town they lived and tried to find milk, and they couldn't find any. And this child passed away because there was no milk. When you think about milk, when you go in your refrigerator and you take milk out to put in your, hopefully, sugar cereals, if your parents didn't take that away from you. No, to put in your cereals, somebody had to raise cows. Somebody had to sell those cows to a dairy. Somebody had to get all the milk from cows. Somebody had to pasteurize it. Somebody had to put it into 1%, 2%, or whole milk. Somebody had to deliver it to the local store where somebody in your family goes and takes their hard-earned money and buys it and brings it home and puts it into a refrigerated box in your house so you can open the door and take out milk. Right? So when you take out milk and you're not aware of what goes on, your consciousness isn't quite fully aware of what's going on around you. Right? Does that make sense? When you can think and be appreciative of everything around you, you grow as a person. If you think about that you didn't get a present for Hanukkah that you really wanted and that makes you sad, and you overthink that, you get sad about a small thing. But when you think about how much you have to be thankful for in just a glass of milk, your consciousness expands and you grow as a person. Don't just look outside in the small things like milk in your life. Look inside yourself. I always said, when you go to sleep tonight, list 5 things that are amazing about you. Be appreciative of you. See your greatness. Right? Because when you see the greatness, when you have things that you're thankful for around you, and you see that in yourself, you can think bigger and grow bigger. And you can recognize your full potential. So let me bring this back home to Siyum HaShas. I know this because the Torah told this to me. The creator of the universe gave us the Torah 3,500 years ago. He made you and he made me and he made everything in this room. And he said, this is how you will grow. You wouldn't fly a plane without an instruction manual. You don't do yourself without an instruction manual. So, the end of the story goes like this. The man that I was speaking about was a man named Rabbi Ornstein. I had asked him a question.
There's noise there, so just
I had asked him a question. The man that I was speaking to was Rabbi Ornstein, who was 85 years old at the time. He would be over 100 years old today. He told me the story when I had asked him about a question in the Gemara. The question in the Gemara is, when you say a blessing after you eat, do you have to say that blessing where you ate, or can you say it somewhere else? So let me get back to you on the consciousness part of it. When we say Shir Hamalas, we're singing a song and it's great. But we're also, in God's Torah, it said, after you eat, say a blessing. Why? So now you're conscious of all the things that happened right here so you can eat. Your consciousness grows, right? So if your consciousness grows, you can think bigger and bigger and be happier as a person. In the end, he said to me the following, and you should ask your rabbis what they'd say. I don't know what yours would say. He said, you should say the blessing where you ate, because this is the spot that you were blessed fully and completely. This is where you ate. What's amazing about HaShas is all these things, all these mitzvahs were given to us at Mount Sinai. We were given the written law and the oral law. The oral law is the Talmud, and it explains all the mitzvahs and what we do. For 3,500 years, the Jewish people have studied these laws so we can be great. And what's incredible is not only did people finish it at Siyum HaShas, but you children here are studying it. You children are unique and special because of that. You have many things that are the same as all the other schools in all the world. But this thing is unique and special to you, and it's unique and special to our people for over 3,500 years. So with everybody, to all of us who have studied the Gemara, from these people here to Israel to this room, and of course to Seth, Kol HaKavod, may we continue to study the Gemara, and may we continue to grow, grow, and grow.
Thank you. Before we introduce Rabbi Seth, Leora, Lashter, and Tali Zlakos, please come up to say a few words. Leora and Tali.
Students of our
Why do we make a Siyum? At first glance, it seems to be a little strange that we are having a party for finishing learning something. Are we celebrating that we are done? Are we celebrating that we don't have to learn anymore?
We can find an answer in Malachim Aleph Parak Gimel. Vayavo Yerushalayim, vayamod lifnei Aron Brit Hashem, vaya'al alot, vaya'ash shlamim, vaya'as mishtelech avodah. Solomon went to Jerusalem, stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented offering of well-being, and he made a banquet for all his royal attendants.
So basically, after Hashem grants Shlomo a lot of wisdom, Shlomo makes a huge party and feast, and thanks to Hashem for all the gifts and wisdom that he acquired.
From this we learn that we should also make a Siyum when we finish a piece of Torah. How do we come to that conclusion? And that takes us back to our original question. The answer is that we are celebrating all the knowledge that we have gained from what we learned. This is also like Simchat Torah. In Simchat Torah, we celebrate finishing the Torah. We are celebrating the knowledge that we have gained. We also have the holiday every year, which shows that no matter how many times you learn something, especially a piece of Torah, you can always learn something new.
Additionally, on Simchas Torah, you read the end of Azot HaBracha, but we also read the beginning of Breshit. This shows we aren't just celebrating that we finished a piece of Torah, we are celebrating how we are going to start again. When you learn Daf Yomi, you immediately start again after you finish. Also, if you look at the words of Hadron Allah, the immediate translation is we will revisit you. That's what's so special about Torah and HaShas, is that no matter how many times you learn it, you can always learn something new.
In conclusion, we have a Siyum because we are celebrating how much knowledge we have gained from what we learned, and we are saying we'll start again and learn even more. Mazel tov, Rabbi Seth.
With no further ado, please give your attention and kavod to Rabbi Seth.
Thank you, everybody. Just before I complete the formal Siyum, I'll just speak for a couple of minutes. Personal reflections about the last 7.5-year journey, what it's meant to me and to my family. Without doing the formal math, roughly 7.5 years, if you're learning one daf a day and 365 days in a year, for those of you who could do the math in their head, it roughly comes out to 2,711 days. That's how many pages there are in the Gemara. Now, if I were to ask a question, we generally don't like to rank mitzvot and say this mitzvah is more important than that one, or this pasuk is more important than that one. But it's not me who asked this question. The Midrash actually asks, what's the most important pasuk in the Torah? If I were to ask you, what's the most important pasuk in the Torah, what would you say? So some of these are some answers. There's a very surprising answer that the Midrash gives. What's the most important pasuk in the Torah? And this pasuk goes as follows. Es hakeves ha'echad taseh baboker, ve'es hakeves ha'echad taseh ben harbayim. You bring one carbon in the morning, and you win one carbon in the afternoon. Seems very strange. What in the world does that have to do with it? It's a nice thing. Carbonos are important. 7th grade diplomats, yay. But like, why would you say that's the most important pasuk in the Torah? And the answer is because every single day in the Beit HaMikdash, rain or shine, Shabbat, Yom Tov, they did the exact same thing. You brought one carbon in the morning, and you brought one carbon in the afternoon. It didn't matter the day, it didn't matter what was going on, it didn't matter when there was a siege around Yerushalayim and they couldn't bring animals in and they used to pay millions of dollars just to get like a sheep over the wall so they could bring a carbon. The idea and the message here is about consistency in our vote at Hashem, in our service of Hashem. No matter what's happening in our lives, we have to be consistent Jews and day in and day out find that time for Him. And this is an amazing message that the Daf Yomi has granted me, that no matter what's happening in my life, whether it be Yom Kippur, and I'm standing all day davening, there's no breaks. After the fast is over, I go and I learn my Daf Yomi. Tisha B'Av is a day where you're not allowed to learn at all. You still have to learn it. You wait until the fast is over. Honestly, those aren't the hardest days. I think anecdotal season has actually been the hardest times for me to find time to do, because that takes over my life, definitely more than Yom Kippur and for Tisha B'Av. But that's the message. And whether you finish it or not, when I started, my plan wasn't, I'm going to do this for the next 7.5 years. My plan was, I'm going to start, and I'll see how it goes. And you do, and you're able to see it's one day at a time, one page at a time. And now I can look back after 7.5 years and be like, wow, I did something amazing. That's great. How in the world did I do it? You do one little bit at a time, one page at a time. I'll just end up with one small story that they actually said at the Siyum HaShas. The founder of the Daf Yomi, Meir Shapiro, introduced this idea in the 1920s when they had a rabbinical conference of rabbis and world Jewry all over the world, and they were trying to look for ways to unite Jews all over the world. And he said, how about this? Have all Jews all over the world learn one page a day. Everybody's literally on the same page. So you have a businessman that's flying from Russia to New York. He's able to find friends. He's able to find people that have common ground with him because everybody's on the same page. He's able to go to a shul and he can learn Torah with other people because everybody's learning the same thing. So when Meir Shapiro came up with this idea, when he was a little boy, probably around 10 or 11 or so, he had a private tutor. They didn't have a lot of schools back then. And he had like the best tutor in town. And one day, he comes home and he sees that his mother is crying. So he asked his mother, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Did something happen? So she said, your tutor was offered more money to go to a different town to tutor somebody else. And I'm crying and I'm sad because you lost your tutor. He was the best Rebbe. He was the best Malabit in town and you don't have him. He's going somewhere else. I get it. He got offered more money, but what's going to be with you? So little 10, 11-year-old Meir Shapiro says, Mom, Mother, what's the big deal? We could always just get a new tutor tomorrow, next week. Like, what's the big deal? Why are you crying? Like, why are you so sad? She says, I'm not crying for tomorrow, for next week. I'm crying for today. Who's going to teach you today? He's not here. In other words, teaching him the value of every single day. Even missing one day, one thing. It's all about being consistent and making sure that we take advantage of every opportunity that we have. And if we don't do all, we do some. Well, if I'm not going to do it tomorrow, what's the point of doing it today? No. Every day, every opportunity that we have is a gift. And it's something that we should be taking advantage of. So I just want to express my Hakar Satova, first of all, to Hashem for allowing me and for giving me the drive to complete this wonderful thing. To my wonderful family for all their support throughout this entire time. To my communities, specifically the SAR community, also who without knowing, so many people have given me such chizuk without even realizing and giving me the drive and the cheshek to really embark on this journey is really a wonderful thing, and I feel extremely privileged to be part of such a community. So thank you very much. So I'm just going to read the last two lines, and then I'm going to make the siyum. Tanit Debei Eliyahu, a braita in the name of, from the yeshiva of, some say it was Eliyahu Hanavi, says as follows: Kol hashona halachot b'chol yom, muftach lo she'u shehu ben olam haba. Anybody who learns halachot every day has an automatic ticket straight into olam haba, straight to the world to come. How do we know? Shenemar, as the pasuk says, halichot olam lo, the world, the ways of the world, halichot, to go are his, they are Hashem's. Al tikrei halichot, don't read the word as halichot, ways of walking. Ella halachot, rather laws. Anyone who learns laws every day is an automatic ticket straight to olam haba. Hadron Allah tinoket. Hadron Allah masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The Hadron Allah. Daitan Allah masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The Daitan Allah. La nista sheminach masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The la sista sheminon. Lo ba'alma adem. Lo ba'alma da'asi. Hadron Allah masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The Hadron Allah. The Hadron Chalan. Daitan Allah masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The Daitan Chalan. La nista sheminach masechet nida. The Talmud Bavli. The la sista sheminon. Lo ba'alma adem. Lo ba'alma da'asi. Hadron Allah masechet nida. V'Talmud Bavli, v'Hadrach Alon, Daitach Allah, Daitan Allah Masechas Nida, v'Talmud Bavli, v'Daitach Alon, Lod Nisna Shei Minach Masechas Nida, v'Talmud Bavli, v'Lod Sisna Shei Minon, Lo Ba'amadein, v'Lo Ba'amid Asi. Yehira Sabal Fanecha, Adonai Eloheinu v'Lo Eloseinu, Shetei Torascha, and Monaseinu v'Olam Hazeh, v'Zehei Yimanol Olam Haba, Chanina bar Papa, Rami bar Chaba, Nachman bar Papa, Ache bar Papa, Abba Mari bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Surachel bar Papa, Ad bar Papa, Dor bar Papa. Harav na Adonai Eloheinu Esther Reis Orosach Befino V'Fipios Amcha Beit Yisrael V'nei Kulanu Anachnu V'Tzedseinu 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 Amcha Beit Yisrael Kulanu Yodei Shemecha V'Lomdei Tortecha Lishma V'Ayvei Sat Tzechakminu Mitzusecha Ki Olam Hili Hibili Saman V'Chukecha L'man Lo Yivosh L'Olam Lo Eshkach T'Bedecha Kiba M'Chisani Baruch Ato Adonai Lamdina Chukecha Amen 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 Sel V'Ed Modim Anachnu Lo V'Necha Adonai Eloheinu V'Lo Eloseinu Shesam Techolkeinu Meyoshe Beis HaMedrash V'Losam Techolkeinu Meyoshe Beikronos Sh'anu Mashkimim V'Hem Mashkimim Anu Mashkimim L'Divrei Torah V'Hem Mashkimim L'Dvar B'Teilim Anu Amelim V'Hem Amelim Anu Amelim V'Kam L'Schar V'Hem Amelim V'Hem V'Kam L'Schar Anu Ratzim V'Hem Ratzim Anu Ratzim L'Chai Olam Haba V'Hem Ratzim L'Rishachas Shenemar V'Ata Elohim Soridim L'Rishachas Anshei Domim V'Mira Lo Yachsu Yemeim V'Ani Eftach Ba Yehira Sabal Fanecha Adonai Elohai Kishem Sh'Ashertenu L'Sai Masechas Nida V'Talmud Bavli Kain to Azrain Lahaschu Masechtos Usfar Machirim Ulistaimam Lomod Lamed Lishmar Velasos Ulakaimas Kol Divrei Talmud Terzecha Be'ava Uzechos Kol Atanoi V'Amorai V'Talmidei Chachamim Yamud Li Ulizari Shalom Tavo Shator Mipi Umi Pizari Vizarazari Ad Ulam V'Tzizkayim Bi V'Zalechacha Tancha Osach B'Shaflecha Tishmar Alecha V'Kitzos Echis Techichecha Kibir Yumo Yamecha Yosif Lecho Shenos Chaim Or Yechamim B'Mino B'Smol Asher V'Chavod Adonai Ozle Moyitena Adonai Yevarech Etzamov Shalom Kaddish Yitzkadav Yitzkadash Shemei Rabba V'Yamadu Hudasil Yitzkadad Lecha Yasum Hayasul Asad Yasul Lecha Yamah Ulamiv Lekartim Dirishlim V'Shachul Hech Lebidava Beker Pachar L'Chura Minara V'Asav Pachar D'Ishmael Yatzre V'Yamech Kusha Brichu V'Machusei V'Karei V'Chayechonu V'Yomechon V'Chaydecha V'Yis Yisrael V'Alav V'Makarim V'Mru Amen Yehishmei Rabba V'Barach L'Olam L'Mei Omaya Yisbarach V'Yishabach V'Yitzbar V'Yitzbar V'Yitzasei V'Yitzadar V'Yitzalev V'Yitzalal Shmei Kudush Abrichu L'Ei L'Mikvar V'Chasav V'Shir Asad Tush B'Chas V'Nechem Asad Amiram V'Yamav V'Mru Amen Ha'Yitzrael V'Alvar V'Nan V'Altam Edein V'Yalkol Temedei Tomedein V'Yalkol Mad Askum V'Raitza Di B'Asr Hadin V'Di B'Chol Asar V'Asar Hei L'Chol L'Chol L'Shlom Rabba Chino V'Chis V'Rachamin V'Chayin Arichin V'Zor V'Chil V'Farkan Bin Chadon Avuhon D'Vishmaya V'Mru Amen V'Yishlom Rabba V'Shemaya V'Chaim Alina V'Chol Yisrael V'Mru Amen Oseh Shalom V'Ramav V'Yaseh Shalom Alinu V'Chol Yisrael V'Mru Amen
We're going to keep this nice and festive and safe as we wish a Mazal Tov to Rabbi Seth for this wonderful competition.
Thank you.